Today we will be talking about a hot topic, ADHD. Let's explore some facts, misconceptions, and look at some lived experiences with this disorder. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Shan and Tam Show.
Welcome back to the Shan and Tam Show. Tam, we are here again. We had an amazing day last week and got some positive feedback from a lot of people about our launch. We've already heard from some of our viewers about topics they would like to see us take on. Thanks for all the suggestions, everyone. Keep the ideas and the comments coming.
Yes, Shan, it was truly a wonderful experience last week to go live. I had never gone live on any of my social media personally, and I had to say it was quite an exciting and interesting day.
It was.
I can't say enough how excited I am about this initiative that we're doing together. So today, let's talk. I know we began this conversation about ADHD on our blog, right? And the posts about this topic were titled Beautifully Imperfect Part 1 and 2. Part 1 was written from my perspective living with my son AJ, who has ADHD, and part 2 was written from Shan's perspective living with her son King, who has ADHD and dyslexia. For those who may be joining us for the first time, our blog can be found at shanandtam.blogspot.com. You can find that link in the description box for this video. So for me, this was a particularly emotional and sensitive topic to write about, because to recount that journey about how I came to get my son's diagnosis and all the feelings involved in that process and dealing with the diagnosis after, that was quite difficult.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. The process of acknowledging this very important, and I would even say critical piece of information related to my child was an emotional and taxing process. I think though, after we both wrote about it, we felt that there was so much more that we could say on the topic and wanted to share, and we both felt that it was important for us to dig a little deeper into this, right? Hence, we decided to do a show about it. So we want to ensure that our viewers and followers understand more clearly the disorder and that it is important for us to accept each other with all our differences, and that this is particularly true for our children.
I agree with you, Tam. The topic of ADHD is such a controversial one. It often becomes a debate between people about whether it is a real diagnosis, and especially for our Black boys, it is even more sensitive topic because of the stereotyping.
Right.
Treatment options and whether children should be on medication or not can be quite an engaging and animated discussion to have, and sometimes aggressive too, because people have their differences of opinion. I know for me, this whole situation has been overwhelming because at times I felt alone in dealing with the many challenges that comes with supporting King. Because of that, he had to change schools several times. Right? The school system has been difficult to navigate, and we feel that the system is designed in a way to cater particularly to quote-unquote normal kids. Not that there aren't supports available for children with special needs, but depending on where you are and who you encounter, the process can either break you because of frustration or support you through your advocacy for the children. And I only use the word normal loosely because of the question we can ask, what is normal?
Exactly.
What is normal? No one is perfect, and we have to meet people where they're at. What is your normal may not be mine, and what is your circumstances is not mine. We are all very different beings.
Absolutely. I so agree, right? For our boys, I know you and I connected.
Yes.
Primarily because of them, and our friendship grew out of that.
I agree.
We both knew what it meant to advocate for them And that generally as parents, we have fears for our children.
And they're real.
Right. However, particularly for our children with these special needs, there are unique fears that exist for us, right? And these are due to the factors which are inherently a part of their conditions. Their impulsivity.
Oh man.
That is a characteristic of many of the children with ADHD. And it causes a lot of anxiety for me as a parent, which I'm sure it does for you too.
And it presents itself in many ways.
Many ways, right? Knowing that AJ can get caught up in a situation because he did not have the capacity to just stop and think before making a decision, that scares me.
Yes, T.
This same impulsivity can cause them to be fearless. They are afraid of nothing. They will take risks to do things that you or I wouldn't.
They're brave, right? Tam, it wasn't a mistake that our paths crossed. And it is extremely important that we use our voice to break the silence and the shame about our children who have these special needs.
Yeah, and since we started this conversation, you know, recently I gave a talk to a small women's group that is run by Light Your Path in the US. There have been so many people who have commented to say that it is so reassuring to hear us as a community, as Black mothers, as people of color talking about this and our various approaches to the topic of raising children with special needs, because Shan's is different from mine in some respects too. I've had people say they identified so much with our discussion relating to their own personal journeys with their children, and it's so good to know that they're not alone. We also want our children to speak about their experience and how they feel, and we'll be introducing them to you today.
Yes. So let's welcome our beautiful boys, King and AJ. Let's welcome King and AJ. Thanks so much for agreeing to talk to us today, boys. We're really looking forward to just hearing about your experiences and for you to share with everyone how you feel. We thought it was really important for people to hear from you, your own voice, and for you to tell us some of your interests, what you like to do, and some of the things that makes you unique. So AJ, let me start with you. What are some of your likes?
I like to play basketball. I'm 12 years old. I like being outside and playing with my friends.
Okay, good, good. What about you, King? What are some things that you like to do?
I like playing the drums. I like to do track.
What else?
Sometimes I like to play hockey.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
So boys, you know, we're talking about the whole topic of ADHD, right? And what I wanted you to tell everybody is, what is your understanding about having ADHD?
It's a disability. It's nothing hard to really control. And once you grow older, you'll start to have better control over it.
How you manage things. Yeah, so you're saying that it is a disability, but as you grow older, you feel like there are different ways that you'll be able to manage some of the ways that you feel or some of the ways that you behave, right?
Absolutely. That's
How
good,
about
AJ.
you, King? What do you understand about having ADHD? What does it mean? What does it mean for you?
About your learning. Remember, I always tell you that you have a beautiful mind, even though sometimes when you try, it's difficult. Like, how do you feel about ADHD?
Good.
Yeah, you feel good? Okay.
And it's important for the kids to still feel good about themselves.
And not to feel shameful of it. And as I always tell you that you can do anything you set your mind to, and you're not limited by having ADHD.
How do you feel, AJ? What do you think about having your diagnosis of ADHD? How do you feel about that?
I feel it as a gift, instead, because not many people would really want to stay active or like want to push their limits to the test. And when I love playing outside, so I guess it gives me more like of a workout, I guess.
Okay.
right? So you
burn some of the energy.
Yeah, so that's a very important part of being you, being outside, being active, and you don't mind that, right? And you think it's a gift. I think the other day you told me that it was a blessing. You thought it was a blessing. Why do you think it was a blessing? Tell the people why you think it's a blessing.
Because some things I could process better than others. I could think a little bit differently than others in ways that not many people really think of. And yeah.
Yeah, you think really quickly, right? Your brain works really quickly. So I think that positively, as you can see, it's important for the children to recognize the strengths about the things that people think are holding them back even, right? They recognize the good parts of knowing their diagnosis and can tap into the positive pieces about that. Yes. Right? Is there anything that you guys would want to tell people out there about ADHD? Like, what would you tell somebody about a child with ADHD? What would you say to them?
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yes, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. What would you say?
Don't let your emotions control your actions.
Okay.
Because when you have ADHD, it's a lot more harder to control yourself when you are really emotional, and that's not something that you should be doing.
It's better for you to try to control those emotions, right? But I mean, there's nothing wrong with being emotional, because that makes you feel, because I know for you love your friends, don't you? Yeah, you love people with a passion. So it's good to be emotional sometimes, right? But sometimes the harder parts of managing, it can be a little bit difficult for them. Yes. So we also have Madame Paige with us today. And Paige is AJ's younger sister, and she is here to just give us a little bit of a perspective as to what it means to be the sibling of a child with ADHD.
Wait, but just to confirm, I don't have ADHD.
No, you don't. We need to make that clear. So, Paige, how does it feel to have a brother with ADHD?
It's fun because when I ask him to play with me, he says yes. But I like when he has ADHD because he's more active and he's more into playing outside, and that's fine with me. It doesn't bother me at all.
So, I mean,
he's energetic.
Exactly. He's energetic. It works for Paige. It works for his friends. And, you know, all around, our hope is that we just help people to understand that these children, they're children, and they are no different from others, and that they should be loved and appreciated for who they are. And
of course, and just get to understand them. Get to understand them. Don't give up on them, because they matter just as any other child. So friends, you see, our boys are wonderful and are full of energy and deserving of love and understanding as any other child.
Yeah.
They are uniquely made. And in spite of their challenges, they have a voice and are much more than just a diagnosis. This diagnosis will not define them, and we as parents are compelled to ensure that it does not define them. Getting a disorder means that you will now have the information to be able to find the best ways to support your child. Also, a diagnosis means that you will be able to access the supports that your child needs. We need to acknowledge that these conditions are real and meaningful for our children.
Yes, there is a myth about ADHD, and that it appears to be a life sentence of which nothing good can result.
That's a lie.
Those are two myths that we want to ensure are destroyed today. The facts are that even though the symptoms usually continue into adulthood, years later, with the proper treatment and through behavioral modification and even medication, yes, the dreaded M word, a person can learn ways of coping with the different symptoms.
Absolutely. Also, ADHD has nothing to do with a person's intellectual ability. Some highly intelligent people have ADHD. In fact, many persons with ADHD are very creative, gifted, and multi-talented, and often can get more done than people who do not have the condition.
That's right. As far as medication goes and the discussion surrounding that, I believe a family has to find and determine what works for them. We should not make people feel that they're doing something wrong when they're only trying to find the best solutions to supporting their child. The way I view it is that we have to give our children the best opportunities to succeed in a world that is in some instances systemically not designed for them.
I agree with you, Tam.
Right? We don't discuss this in our circles of influence to help people fully understand the circumstances of the condition and its challenges. We see a situation and take that to be a norm. For example, the belief that when children are medicated, they're drugged out and are like zombies. So this should never be an option. The fact is that with properly adjusted medication, a person would not know that someone is medicated, and that the purpose of medication is to sharpen the focus of the individual with the disorder, and it increases his or her ability to control their behavior. It is not the only option, don't get me wrong, nor is it always the best option. People are different. Even a change in diet can sometimes aid with treatment.
Yes, Tam. These children are ours. We love them, and we have to figure out what is best for them and do whatever it takes to help them thrive. We hope that in some way today we have been able to educate, provoke thought, inspire action, love on a child with special needs, get to know them, spend some time with them, and discover the beautiful parts of them that are unseen.
Until next time, Shan Tam fam, keep safe and be blessed. Thanks for watching the show today, Shan Tam fam.
Ensure you hit the subscribe button, like, and share this video.
Send the link to a friend in WhatsApp, Facebook, or even Instagram fam. And of course, don't miss when we post a new video, so hit that notifications button.
Yes. Also, check out the details box for this video for all the links for Shan and Tam's social media and blog pages.